Good morning, Dr. Chandra Dewi. It's a pleasure to have you as Secretary General of UCLG ASPAC here with us from Jakarta, Indonesia.
Hello, good morning everyone. I'd like to thank the organizers for inviting me to speak at the forum. Although I cannot join you in person, but my spirit is with you.
We have heard a lot today about stakeholders' expectations regarding the Habitat Third process in the panel discussion. What do you think makes cities and local governments so important for international decision-making processes?
New urban agenda should be seen as everyone's agenda, our own agenda. So this is why we grateful with the effort made by Habitat Secretariat, Habitat 3 Secretariat, especially UN Habitat, for engaging different kind of actors, including cities and local governments. So we are very happy to hear that, and also we have been involved in the process itself. As you know, for the implementation, when we look at the targets of SDGs that also link very well with New Urban Agenda, 65% of the targets relate very much to local actors, including local governments. So this is why it's important that local governments and cities are involved in the process of decision making of Habitat 3 conference and New Urban Agenda. So you can imagine if cities and local governments do not perform, then don't expect that public services can be provided optimally to the citizens, like all those public services, water, sanitation, and also public housing, and also public spaces and others. And we have big hopes that New Urban Agenda will include also our expectation. And then, as you know, in the world, more than half of the population will live in the urban areas. So all solutions also are available in the cities and local governments.
And what is the role of UCLG in international processes, especially the Habitat Third process?
UCLG is United Cities and Local Governments. By its names also is to unite the voices of local governments and cities in the world. And as a legitimate organization of cities and local governments, and also recognized by United Nations, it is our duty that UCLG ensure our voices are heard at the international level. And actually, cooperation among cities and local governments happened more than 100 years ago when ULA, International Union of Local Authorities, was set up in Netherlands in 1913. And then the other two organizations, United Towns Organization, Metropolis, and ULA, they all together merged in 2004 and became the United Cities and Local Governments. And they have we have 8 regional sections, and Asia Pacific is the largest section of UCLG. And in the process of Habitat 3 consultation, UCLG initiated what we call it Global Task Force for regional governments, local and regional governments, that comprise of more than 20 networks and United Nations agencies. We did several campaigns, consultations, publications, and also interviews. Those kind of things have been conducted, and we are very pleased that many recommendations came from Global Task Force were included in the Zero Draft Agenda.
How can cities and local governments contribute to the implementation of international agreements such as the SDGs and the New Urban Agenda?
We know well that local governments are key players in the implementation and achievement of New Urban Agenda and SDGs, and we know that there are millions of cities and local governments that we need to reach. I'm not just talking 1 or 2 cities, So therefore, we need to have a communication tools to interpret those global agenda, make sure that local governments well and also understand about those agendas. So UCLG, together with all the regional sections, have produced the communication tools and strategies to make local governments understand and aware about expectation, achievement, as well as those targets, and then we can contribute, cities and local governments can contribute in several ways. Like number one, I can say here, they can also inform and lobby on the most pressing issues affecting local governments, and they can also mainstream the targets and plan in their local activities and also strategies. They can also provide a platform for different stakeholders, including citizens, to be in the process in the agenda and implementation. And then number 4, I can say here kind of ability for them to foster cooperation with other cities and local governments and learn from others and replicate those best practices, innovation. And then I think the most important is also they can be involved in the monitoring process for the implementation of Habitat 3 together with the other local actors. And they can support, of course, member states in the reporting as well as in the monitoring. Yes.
What are you expecting of the Habitat 3 conference in Quito and the new urban agenda?
I have a big expectation actually for Quito. I really hope that I will be there in person. In addition to our hopes and expectation for a sustainable urban future being put in the spotlights, expression and commitment and clear plan and strategies should also be, agreed on. And also, we want to see more commitment from the central governments. That also, I want to see the assurance, especially on financing. We should go beyond traditional way of donor-recipient financing system, but we have to see more on the self-reliance financing mechanism at all level, international, regional, national, and even local levels. So I also want to see that, as you know, the local governments have limitation in capacity. I want to see a very good or big plan on the capacity programs for cities and local governments in the implementation. And then I also want to see that Habitat 3 and new urban agenda should also bring about a sense of rejuvenation to stakeholders, because we expect it will encourage transformation. So I also want to see that cities and local governments are given a seat or kind of significant kind of place at the policy making table. And then we also want to see, we want to call for participatory ways of monitoring and that have a good data collection system as well for the Habitat 3 process. And we also want to go beyond just observer, but to have a kind of recognition status for local governments as a sphere of governance. So that's what I want to see that happen in Habitat 3 conference in Quito.
The last question, how do you picture the city of tomorrow?
I really want to see cities as a place where people are happy, the place where there are soul kind of spirit, place where we have a high tolerance despite different kind of differences, different kind of things that society has. Maybe we are different in religion, we are different in culture, but we have to have a high tolerance. And also it will respect the world's natural resources, and also understand that the people and man-made structures can be live in harmony. I think we have been exploiting too much natural resources that God has given to us. I think it's time for us to really reduce our greediness. So that we don't only see prosperity not only be measured by revenue, but also by collective happiness of the people.
Okay, Dr. Benadia, thank you very much for your insightful comments. I hope we can meet again in another opportunity.
Thank you, and I wish you a successful forum. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.